so let's talk about what's going to happen in the future. So there's two possibilities. Either the universe expands or the universe collapses. So let's first talk about what's going to happen in the future if the universe expands forever. And so you won't need to know any of this on the exam, but it just gives you time scales that are involved on Earth, and so what's going to be happening in the future, but don't worry about any of that on the exam. But this is important, okay? And the only thing that you need to know from this that's going to be on the exam is that thing about the Stellariferous era. So that given enough time, the sun is going to begin to run out of hydrogen. When it runs out of hydrogen, the core is going to collapse, it's going to heat up, the outer part's going to expand, it's going to turn into a red giant, it's going to start to manufacture carbon, eventually it's going to run out of helium, the outer part's going to be jettisoned as a planetary nebula, the core is going to end up being a white dwarf, and then it's going to cool into a black dwarf. So just say in 5 billion years, our sun is going to die. Okay, then even further into the future, so you don't need to know the date, but further into the future, eventually the galaxies will have merged into larger galaxies. So currently we're in the process of eating a dwarf galaxy, but in the future Andromeda is going to collide with us and we're going to be eaten by Andromeda. So in the future galaxies are going to get bigger. Okay, further into the future, eventually every star in the universe is going to start to run out of hydrogen. Okay, and then all the elements are going to get used up so that the universe is going to consist of planets, black dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. So that is the fate of the universe if it is expanding forever. Now I will go ahead and let you read the rest of this and watch the video where I talk about this in more detail, but don't worry about the degenerate era, and then don't worry about the black hole era, and then don't worry about the dark era. Okay, so it's not going to be on the exam. Okay, but then the universe could collapse. So if there's too much mass and energy in the universe, then the universe is going to stop expanding, and then it's going to start to collapse. And so if the universe collapses, it's got one of three possible fates. It could be the opposite of the Big Bang, meaning that the temperature is going to continue to increase as the volume continues to decrease. And as the temperature goes up, first, atoms will no longer be able to exist. The electrons will come flying off the atoms. Next thing that's going to happen is even nucleuses will not be able to exist. They'll break up into protons and neutrons. Then even protons and neutrons will not be able to exist. And then you'll have quarks. So everything will happen the same way that it happened with the Big Bang, but in the opposite direction. Another possibility is that the universe is going to collapse and then blow up again. So that would be a repeat of the Big Bang. And then another possibility is the universe collapses, then another Big Bang, then it collapses again, another Big Bang, and it collapses again. And so it's just an infinite number of big bounces followed by big bangs. Okay, so that's what the fate of the universe is. All right, so that only leaves us with one review left to go, and we will talk about that in our next segment.